So we're back here working on the extra cab Dodge. First gen, we got the frame back from Sandblast, looking pretty sweet. They did a really good job, really cleaned it up. There's a few things we're gonna have to fix. Looks like there's a bump stop missing there. It's got a little bit of pitting, but that's no big deal. We sandblasted it. Got a couple brackets to pull off. Looks like this is where they welded it in there. We'll have to grind that down a little bit more. And then we're gonna end up, I think, setting this thing in the air, pulling the axles out and the leaf springs out, and basically front and rear, and then pull the string stuff off and get this thing kind of blown apart, and then get some of the rubber stuff off, like the these boots and stuff. We're gonna end up painting this in a satin. I think we're gonna use a chassis saver for that, and see what he wants. Probably the same thing on the axles and leaf springs. We want to tear everything apart. That way, everything's just gets a better paint job. Anything that wasn't sandblasted will just DA out real quick, because chassis saver is a really good product to stick and convert rust and stop it. So I think that's kind of the plan on that one. We can get it blown apart, and then yeah, try to see if we can't get it painted in the next couple of days and back together. So we got that frame pretty well stripped down. Anything that was kind of bolted to it, we're going to come back over with a little bit of 80 grit on a DA and basically knock any of this down right here. I'm not so worried about the original paint as I am how like dirty it is. So I had to kind of straighten this cross member a little bit there. And we got it pretty stripped down. Anything like this right here, that's original paint, but we want to get rid of any kind of dirt that could be on there. And or grease. Kind of same thing on the cross member. It had something bolted here, so bolted to the frame, and something was bolted here. So I think it was these pieces here. They look really good. They're not all rusty. Just that there's some dirt built up in between the two pieces. I'm just taking some 80 and knocking down. We kind of buzzed all that stuff down. I'm going to blow it off real good. Probably wash it with some sort of either a lacquer thinner or wax and grease remover, anything that I thought could be oily. And then, yeah, I'll hang up some more parts and then hopefully get this thing, drag the old rotisserie in and throw that thing on the rotisserie. So, I guess that's the plan for now. See if we get some more parts hanging up before the end of the day. Alright, so I got thinking about this, and I don't remember exactly how flat the chassis saver is, even though it says satin black. I don't know if it's more like an epoxy. The lid was on that, more like an epoxy satin. You know, there's not really much sheen to it. It's about what we're going for, I think. Or if it's like, you know, like you get a new part epoxy. You know, I don't know. It's got a little more gloss than that. So, what I think I'm gonna do is I've got some nuts and bolts here. Basically, what I do is I take a piece of cardboard, take a screwdriver, jab a bunch of holes in there, and then just stick all my nuts and bolts in there. That way, I can kind of do like a 360 and spray them. And I've got a couple brackets hanging, and I'm gonna grab a couple of the bigger brackets. I'm just gonna mix up a little paint, probably throw it in my detail gun, and spray that. So in the morning I'm gonna come by and see exactly how flat that is, see if it's satined down enough. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get some stuff mixed up, get a couple things hanging, and spray a couple coats of chassis saver. back here, and we're still working on the Dodge. Basically, we sprayed some chassis saver to see if we like the sheen. This is the chassis saver here. This is the original color. This was just something that was bolted on there. And this is an epoxy. And after talking to the guy, I think we like the epoxy sheen. I think this is just a little too glossy. Epoxy is recommended to go over sandblasted. That's actually all what had been sandblasted, and that's for the International. So we're gonna go with like kind of like this. We're thinking it's a little bit closer maybe to what this would have been. You know, honestly, once you get the cab and stuff on it, you're not really gonna see the frame. So as long as it's close, Dodges, the frames are pretty flat. So bummer part is we gotta do a little bit more work to the frame. See if we can't make some progress today. Back here on a Monday, went ahead and painted this stuff Saturday, let it sit over the weekend, or painted this stuff Saturday, let it sit Sunday, and then back here Monday, and we're looking pretty good. It's pretty hard as far as like not fingerprinting, or I can't dig my fingernail in it. Basically got the rear axle done, and I'm gonna clean up and then probably start trying to get some of this stuff put back together, get all this stuff consolidated, hopefully get the frame back together today, and then that way they can come get it and get it out of my hair. So I'm going to keep trucking away on that and see if we can make some progress. Alright, got that frame pretty well finished up. Getting ready to haul it off to Ian's. Have him come pick this thing up. We got it pretty well assembled back together. All the brake lines and stuff are in. It's on him to do all the fuel lines and the fuel tank and that like type of stuff. But looking pretty cool. Looks pretty good. Should be pretty nice. I have to come back and touch up where we had it bolted to the rotisserie. But he's got a crossframe put in there, and then they're going to put the fuel tank and stuff like that. I have the drive line down there. And then another skid pan for the bottom of that. We're going to have to send off to the sandblaster. I'm going to do that when I take the core support and the inner fenders over to them. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up that, and it's pretty much end of the day. I'm going to call this project done here in this video here. So if you like this type of stuff, give me a like, a subscribe, keep following for updates on this 93 Dodge. We'll keep on getting that thing ready for paint, and yeah, remember, get out there, create something today, even if it sucks. Peace.